Hi, my name is Amanda and you're watching The Reading and Writing Life. Today I decided to do a tag video. I've seen a few of these floating around and I thought, well, why not just try it? Especially because I have a new YouTube channel, specifically Booktube, and this is a new Booktube tag. So I thought I would just jump in and share my answers and you could get to know me a little bit more, and then maybe you'll comment below and I'll get to know you a little bit more. Here we go. Question number 1, why did you start this channel? Well, honestly, I really like editing videos. I am learning more about editing videos and it's enjoyable to me, and I really like talking about books, and I thought, why can't I combine the two of them? I love watching Booktube videos, and I thought, I want to get in on that conversation and I want to read books and have people discuss those books with me. Question number 2, what are some fun and unique things you bring to Booktube? So I don't know what I'm going to do in the future that might be different from what other people are doing. I do know that one thing that I do that I haven't seen a lot of people do is I don't do like a monthly wrap up or any kind of like bring all the books together and I hold them up one at a time as I talk about all the books that I've read. I feel like if I did that, I wouldn't remember everything that I wanted to say about the book. So what I do for my books that I've read videos, there's a whole series of those videos, and what I do is when I finish reading a book, as soon as I can, sometimes it's not immediate, of course, but as soon as I can, I just pick up my phone and I go ahead and do my book review as soon as possible. That way, everything is still fresh in my brain. Everything that I wanted to say is right there and ready to go. And it just makes it, number one, I think it makes it easier for me. I don't have to go, wait, what was this book about? Like, I've seen a few people when they're ready to do their end of the month wrap up or whatever, they've read so many books that they can't even really remember what they wanted to say about the book or a lot about the book. And so I think that is a unique thing that I do, and it's mostly selfish just because I don't want to have to remember in the whole month what I wanted to say. Question number 3, what are you most excited about for this new channel? I feel like everybody probably says this, but it goes back to the whole reason that I started the channel, which is to talk to people about books. I don't have a ton of people in my life that read and discuss books. I am in a book club, but we read one book and we read it really slowly. So I just want a place where I can talk about the books that I'm reading and other people can talk back to me about those books. That's what I'm most excited about. Number 4, why do you love reading? I love reading because it's an escape. It is a way to immerse myself in other people's lives. I have a tattoo that I want to get. I don't have it yet, but I've already picked it out. And anyway, it just says, it's got a book and it says, I have lived 1,000 lives. And I think that is what I feel when I read, and it feels like I have friends, like especially if I'm reading a series and I know everybody, and I love it. Number 5, what book or series got you into reading? Okay. I did not read books as a child. I did not read books that I was assigned to read in school. I just skimmed them, or I would talk to my friends about what happened, or, back in the day, since that was in the 90s, we would go buy the Cliff's Notes of a book and we would read that. At least we were smart enough to know that we couldn't just watch the movie, because a lot of times the movies are not the same. But anyway, I just didn't read even through most of college, and I have a degree in English. And still through most of college, I did not read any books. I started reading my assigned books the last full year in college, and it was because I was taking an African American lit class and I was taking an American lit class. And both of those classes, I don't know what it was that made me go, I'm gonna read this book. But I started reading that book and it was so good. Like before that, I guess at the beginning of my college experience, I used to read a bunch of those little Harlequin books. They would come out with 5 or 6 of them at a time, at a month or whatever. I don't even remember how it worked, but I would go to the library and get those books, and I remember just breezing through those books, but I don't really remember them being like, oh, I love to read. Like I didn't. Until, I don't know if you guys remember, and I'll try to find the picture to put it up here. I've never compared them side by side, so this is gonna be kind of funny, but there was a vampire TV show, and I don't even know what it was called. I'm gonna put it up here. And it didn't last for very long, but I loved it. And I used to call my mother, and she was watching the show. Anyway, we loved the show. And we found out that they were stopping making the show. And we particularly liked the lead actor in the show, who was a vampire. And we were at Walmart together one day, she and I, my mother and I. And we were walking by the book section because it was up at the front to like go check out. And I just glanced over and I saw the cover of this book, which I will also put up here. Let me scoot over. I'm gonna put them side by side because what I immediately thought was, oh my gosh, he looks just like the vampire on this TV show that we're watching that they're about to discontinue. And so I picked the book up and I was like, Mama, don't you think he looks like the vampire? And she said, yeah, he kind of does. So I flip it over and the character is a vampire. And I said, well, I need to read this book. Like, he looks like the guy, he's a vampire. And so I got it. And then I found out after I read it that this was not even the first book in this series. So anyway, I have been sucked in from there. That started my love of paranormal romance, and it has not stopped to this day. I still read her books as well as tons of others. That moved me into other genres, and then just in the last year, I have really started expanding and reading tons of stuff. I used to say I only wanted happy books. Don't make me cry, don't make me sad. And then I realized that if I want to have the full experience of people and their lives, then I can't just hide away and only read the happily ever after books. I need to read real books about real people, and it has made all of my reading all over the spectrum so much better now that I have expanded. Question number 6. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? So I think I would ask them, do you enjoy getting all dressed up to film? Like, is that the fun part for you? Do you enjoy having to get ready just to talk about a book? Like, it's kind of frustrating to me that I think the videos that or the channels that get the most views and seem to be growing quickly are the ones where the people making the videos have to look a certain way. And I feel like the people who don't can kind of feel left out. And that's another reason why I want to do my book reviews when I am finished reading a book, because I don't want to feel like that I have to get up and go fix my hair and find some makeup to put on, and that I have to be just right before I can present a book. I would rather, the whole point is to just talk about the book. So I guess I want to ask them if they enjoy that part, or are they doing it because they think that that's what they have to do in order to be able to get views and in order to be able to be seen. Maybe people do like to do that. I know that a lot of people like to dress up. They like to put on makeup and do all of that stuff. That's not me, and that's not what I like to do. And so I kind of sometimes feel like it's an expectation that other people have of me that I don't want to fulfill, but I still want to discuss books and be able to talk about books with people. And so it kind of feels like I have to do one or the other. Like, if I don't worry about how I look or anything like that, then I'm not going to be able to discuss the books. But at the same time, I just want to be able to talk about books. Question number 7. What challenges do you think starting a new booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Well, I think I just talked about it. I think the challenge that's going to be the hardest is getting people here. Getting people to come and check it out. There's so many booktube channels and so many other people that already have a following on Twitter, or they already have a following on Instagram, and I don't have any of that. I mean, I have an Instagram, but I don't really know how to use it. I don't know how to use it as a business, and so I don't feel like I'm using it to the best of its ability. And so I think that's going to be a hindrance and one of the hardest things about Booktube. Number 8, when did you start reading? I think I kind of answered that already with the whole I didn't read as a kid, and I didn't read a lot in high school and only a little bit in college. So I would definitely say in my 20s is when I started reading. Number 9, where do you read? Everywhere. And as often as possible. And finally, number 10, what kind of books do you like to read? So I know I said at the beginning that it was those little Harlequin romances when I was in college, and then it just kind of graduated to the paranormal romance, and it stayed there for a long time, or it stayed at least in the romance area for a really long time. And I just tried a bunch of different genres in that, under that big umbrella. But now I will read any genre at least one time. I say that my least favorite is thriller, but I've read a couple in the last year. I've only read 2 in the last year, but I'm wanting to get more and more into that and check out more of those. So anything, I will read any genre at least once. So that's it for this video. If you have any more questions, let me know down below. As always, I love to do a buddy read. If anybody wants to do that, comment below and we will set something up. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss anything, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.